welcome to today's Daily Live. I'm Chef AJ, and if you've been following me at all, you know that I've been going live at least once a day and sometimes more than once a day while we're sheltering in place, just to create a sense of community, bring you interesting stories from interesting guests, some who I know, some who I'm meeting for the first time, and just to have an hour or so where we can just think of something other than what everybody's thinking about, the coronavirus. So today I have somebody that I'm meeting for the very, very first time. And so you'll be meeting her for the first time too. So I'm excited to get to know her. She actually came to me to ask me to endorse her book. And before I even read it, I said yes, just based on the title. It's the most fabulous title for any book I've ever heard. It's called The Plant Powered Penis. Please welcome Mindy Milray. Hi, Mindy. So nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm honored.
Are you kidding? You're adorable. And I love that title for the book. It's obviously one that hasn't been taken before. That's the problem I ran into writing my book. Everything I wanted was taken. So show me the cover of the book so everybody can.
The book, it is on Amazon right now, but unfortunately I have not received my copy yet. So there is the cover. But I have had some readers tell me they have gotten the cover, so the copy. So you can purchase it right now in ebook and also in paperback.
That's great. I actually just posted a link to Amazon, and maybe as we get talking more and we find out more what the book's about, people will click that link and check it out. So who is Mindy Milray?
Okay, let's go from the beginning. I was a theater major early on, and to make my way, I taught fitness, and I became quite good at teaching fitness, and I became the world aerobic champion. And then I created a product called the gliding discs, and then Tabata boot camp. And along the way, my husband joined me in business, and we realized that it really is food first. Fitness is great and amazing and wonderful, but food is first and foremost what we should be thinking about. So Bruce launched into becoming a holistic nutritionist, and I joined him in business, and we created a program called One Day to Wellness, where we are a nonprofit. We speak all over the world on evidence-based nutrition and wellness and fitness. And about 9 years ago, Bruce was diagnosed with prostate cancer. By being a whole food plant-based eater and having a purpose and a passion and a mission for spreading the word of whole food plant-based eating, Bruce is here today. And Bruce is alive and vibrant, and he's the most amazing person on the planet. But what also is very amazing is his penis. I was told by all of the doctors, he had a prostatectomy, and then he had 2 rounds of radiation, 2 rounds of hormone treatment. I was told, though, early on by the doctors that he would really not have any kind of erectile function. Well, I have to tell you, the opposite is true. He is more virile than he's ever been. And that really was why I wrote this book. Because of plants and the nitric oxide production and the blood flow that it creates, you really do have an amazing opportunity, if you do have erectile dysfunction, to cure it, or at least not have the symptoms.
That's amazing. I remember when I first saw Forks Over Knives in 2011, listening to Dr. Terry Mason, one of my favorite people, talk about how impotence is the canary in the coal mine, and that if you have heart disease or vascular disease anywhere, you have it everywhere. And so many people don't even realize that heart disease is in the penis.
Well, it starts there, right? Because the little veins and arteries that go in and out of that area are very small. So of course, they will clog up first. And then it'll go up the vein chain, and then you'll see atherosclerosis, and you'll see heart disease, and you'll see Alzheimer's. And so it is just, it's the knock on the door to say, you know what? I know you're not having much fun in the bedroom, but in a couple years, you're not going to have much fun anywhere. So my book is really, it's hopeful, it's helpful. It's not only for men with erectile dysfunction, it's also for partners. And it's wonderful. Bruce and I have been married almost 40 years. We work together 24/7. We live in an RV that's covered with fruits and vegetables. And we kind of have been through everything. We have 3 boys, and I've got 3 brothers. I've got lots of penises floating around here and there and everywhere. So this has really been an amazing journey to create this book, not only for men, but also for their partners and their families, and for everybody. It's a fun book. It's funny, and hopefully supports everyone in this process.
That's amazing. Now, was Bruce already a plant-based when he got prostate cancer?
He actually, Bruce, Bruce, come here. I want to introduce you to Bruce.
Okay.
So,
I
so
want to
Bruce,
see the man with the plant-powered
here-
penis.
now you're not going to see his penis.
Oh, we're not? Well, that's why I told everybody to watch. No.
Well, you can see my shirt. My shirt. This is a model of his wonderful penis. But
That's my favorite color too. So very nice.
When
No,
Bruce-
we won't put you on the spot, Bruce, because I think
Oh, okay. Thank you, AJ.
YouTube probably has rules for that anyway.
Well, we heard your question. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer at age 52, 9 years ago. I had eaten the worst possible diet for 52 years. And I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, where fried chicken is a food group. And my diet for 52 years was pretty much fried animal products, a lot of dairy, a lot of eggs. And I led the junk food revolution because I was born in 1958. I'm 61. And so we took charge of that, and it was wonderful. We really grew the junk food industry. But that was my diet for my whole life. I never really had much of a weight problem, but I had a terrible diet. And I know I've done a tremendous amount of research on prostate cancer, and I pretty much research nutrition full time now.
Full time.
And I just came to the conclusion, I gave it to myself.
But what happened is we were on an airplane trip because we fly every single weekend. Well, that's why we live in an RV, because we flew every single weekend. And Bruce, a couple years ago, said, I can't fly anymore. So that's why we bought the RV. We're kind of like John Madden. And what happened is I was reading a book called, and I'm sure
John Madden without the money.
Yeah. A lot of your listeners know this book. It's called The China Study by T. Colin Campbell. I was reading it, and Bruce didn't have a book on that airplane trip. And he just serendipitously picked it up and said, what is this? I'm going to read this. And he got on that plane as an absolute carnivore. He got off that plane as a vegan. Crazy.
I had actually had a doctor's appointment 2 days before we got on that flight, where my doctor told me my cholesterol is very high, my triglycerides were high, I was overweight, and he was going to put me on statins. And I said, how long? He goes, statins are forever. And I said, okay, thanks. And that's when serendipitously, I just happened to read the China Study because Mindy had it. And it just made me furious.
Yeah.
I don't know how to, it just completely changed our lives. And so we've been on a mission. We created the nonprofit One Day to Wellness. And we just try to help people understand that nutrition, what you eat every day, is the most important thing for your health.
So he went plant-based about 6 months before he found out that he had prostate cancer, because he went into the doctor to brag because his cholesterol had gone down by 100 points
in 6 weeks.
Yeah. And then the doctor said, oh, that's great, but your PSA is high, and that's the marker for prostate cancer.
And I said, what's PSA?
So, but looking at Bruce's stage of cancer, he had it growing in his body for 15, 20 years. And being plant-based has really changed everything about everything that we do.
Great. And so you didn't have to go through like chemo or radiation or surgery?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was diagnosed, and I had a radical prostatectomy, which I had my prostate removed. And then my PSA didn't go to 0, which it should after that. And which is indicative of cancer being left over. It turns out I had a positive margin, and the cancer was spreading into my seminal vesicles. So I had adjuvant radiation to my prostate bed after that. That didn't take it all out. I had another round of radiation about a year after that, coupled with some chemotherapy. I've been through 2 rounds of hormone therapy, androgen deprivation therapy, that eliminates your sex drive. So, but I haven't been on any treatment for the last 2.5 years, and I'm doing everything I can to approach my disease, which I still have, through diet. And I can tell you by far, it's the most powerful tool I have. I mean, I'm not going to cure myself with my new diet, but I can as Dr. Clapper says, I just keep the tiger in the cage.
But his tiger down there is not in the cage.
Yeah, but
that's why I wrote my book, because
really all of the medical professionals that we consulted said all of your erectile function with the surgery and coupled with all the radiation is going to be eliminated within 5 years. That was 9 years ago. And without being graphic, I'm here to tell you, it is all about the food. And you know it. It just is incredible.
It's crazy.
And it's blood flow is what it's all about.
Yeah.
And my erectile function is every bit as good as it was in college. It might be better because of my diet.
Yeah. And all the doctors said, just get ready. Get ready. You're not going to have the same husband. Well, I don't have the same husband. I've got a better one. Seriously.
I'm not sure about that, but it's powerful enough that people like you understand that, and we just want to be a part of the movement to help people understand this.
Well,
and
this is really
that's
going to
why
help.
we set up our nonprofit.
This is going to help so many people, because I know so many people that have had the operation that are incontinent and have no sexual function. So it's very, very inspiring. Now, you said you were a junk food eater, but you were in the fitness movement and still eating junk, or is that just me?
AJ, the fitness industry is the worst.
The worst.
That's why I got it. That's why I started lecturing on nutrition. That's why I got certified in plant-based nutrition, is because every professional scientist or doctor or fitness professional that lectures on nutrition lectures that I went to, it was all about making sure you pack all the meat and protein in your. The food industry has taken over the fitness industry like everywhere else, and unfortunately, it's a great opportunity to push disease-promoting food on a lot of people with no science to back it up. So we took it upon ourselves to try to change that, and so our focus has really been on trying to change the trajectory of the fitness world to understand plant-based nutrition. Certainly the Game Changers has helped with that.
So we do a program called One Day to Wellness, which is a 9-hour training course that offers CECs for fitness professionals and wellness professionals and medical professionals. We also have a second day called Cooking and Coaching, which we teach you how to cook. So we should probably get together.
Some of your recipes.
Well, Bruce is so funny. He goes, I'm going to have a cook-off. Well, Chef AJ, I want to have a cook-off. He made habanero sauce yesterday, and I couldn't even be in the RV because it was just so potent.
Oh, it's really
was
good.
Crazy. But it really is 2 days that are, the first day is like indoctrination, and the second day is implementation. But we really dive into how to look at a research study. What can you find that is the truth amongst all of the crazy noise that's out there, and then really the how to implement it into your life. And being a nonprofit, all of our lectures that we do for an hour or 2 hours at community centers or churches or wherever, those are all donated because of the money that we then get from our One Day to Wellness program. And my book too all goes to the nonprofit, all the proceeds.
That's terrific. Well, Bernard is saying I really need this, so I'm posting the link to the book if people want to check that out on Amazon. You said that you invented the discs, like those little things that look like frisbees. You invented
Yes. Pretty crazy. So those are the gliding discs. They're just 2 purple plates, and you can do push-ups and sit-ups and basically everything. I could do any exercise and kick anybody's rear end with those gliding discs. Yeah.
Wow. And you said you were the world aerobic champion. What does that mean?
So in 1991, I won the national and then the world aerobic champion. And it's like, well, now it's an Olympic event. And back then it's like a 3-minute routine that you do, and you have compulsories, and then you have, it's a routine, and thousands and thousands of people try out. And then if you win, like I was a Reebok national aerobic champion, so then I went on tour all year for Reebok. And then from there, I got sponsored in other things too. And early on, I was sponsored by Gatorade. I'm not sponsored by Gatorade anymore. They would not sponsor me.
Oh my
These are the gliding discs.
So Angela says to hi Mindy and Bruce, and she says, "Can we do a Tabata at the end of the lecture?"
Oh,
Tabata, the thing with the ropes, is that?
no, Tabata is, I created a program called Tabata Boot Camp. And Tabata is a HIIT training protocol. It was developed by coaches in Japan in 1996. And this man named Izumi Tabata, he did the research on this 4-minute protocol that was 20 seconds on, as hard as you can possibly go, and then 10 seconds off, and it's 8 rounds. So what I did is created a fitness program whereby fitness instructors and personal trainers had a program that could utilize this type of training.
That's cool. Somebody asked if they could see the discs. You don't have any discs. Oh, you do. I've been places where those are used.
Yeah, yeah. It's so exciting to go and do a gym. Well, hopefully gyms are going to reopen at some point, but it's so much fun to go into a gym, and they're ubiquitous. I mean, they're like everywhere. They're in the Pilates studio, they're in the group exercise studio, they're in the personal training studio, and they're really, if anybody wants to purchase them, they can just contact me, and then I can get you a pair, and they're not very expensive at all. I also have about 500 fitness videos. So if you just Google me, you can just get a whole bunch of fitness videos.
Wow. Karen says, I teach Tabata for my deep water exercise class.
Oh, good. That's excellent.
He says, I just ordered 2 of your books, one for my son and one for a dear friend.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Well, figure, ladies, even if you don't have a penis, you probably know somebody that does. So this book would be the perfect gift.
And it's partners. I have one of my chapters is called Penis Pals and Partner Pointers. And there's just there's just so much information for partners. And then at the end, I have lots of recipes, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. I just made my black bean brownies that are fantastic. So a lot of tangible tips, how to set up your kitchen for success. What the very beginning is all the research and the science of what we know. And then the foods that you should be eating every day for blood flow for everybody.
Does anybody have any questions for either Mindy or Bruce? I think that's just so cool that you invented something. I just love that. I wish I could invent something that would be forever. That is just cool because I knew of the product even before I knew of you. You've got some really cute t-shirts on.
Yeah, so we have a whole line of t-shirts as well. So you can just go on onedaytowellness.org and check out all the t-shirts. We have aprons too. I don't know if the aprons are on the website also. I also have a program called Fluid Strength that if you wait until Friday, because of the whole COVID-19 thing, a lot of people are getting their workouts online. That certification is only 4 hours and it's 50% off starting Friday.
Oh, that's good to know. Thanks. Karen says, what are some of the best foods for blood flow?
Oh, fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables. Now, here's a couple things. I don't like to say superfoods because if you're eating a superfood, but then you're also eating a crappy diet, well, I want the whole landscape of your meal, of your day to look like fruits and vegetables and whole food plant-based eating. But watermelon rind. There's something about watermelon rind and pistachios. Coffee is also very good for erectile function and blood flow, but anything that's nitric rich has nitric oxide rich, and so it's all from the plant kingdom. So fruits and vegetables and whole grains and beans, legumes, that sort of thing. Beets are really good. Beets are also really good prior to a workout. You can increase your athletic performance by about 15 to 20% just by taking a large shot of beet juice before you work out.
Well, there's a product that people keep asking about called Beet Boost. Have you ever heard of it?
No, I really like to get it from the actual food itself. So we do a lecture on fasting, and one of the first things that we talk about is, everyone's going to try to make money off of the latest trend, right? And so fasting, a lot of people are coming up with like fasting pills, and you got to watch out for, if someone's trying to make money from a trend, you got to watch out for that.
Guys, Mindy and Bruce are not doctors, so therefore I'm not going to be asking them your questions on specific diseases like Hashimoto's and ulcerative colitis, but I'll be having doctors on, I know very soon to answer those kind of questions. Or you can always go to the healthpromoting.com website, which is the True North website, and Dr. Goldhammer will always give a free consultation to anyone interested in coming to True North to answer those, but we don't want to, answer those questions because none of us are doctors here today.
We spent time at True North.
We did a whole water only fast there. Have you been there?
I used to work there, as a matter of fact, till my program got canceled for almost 10 years. I was the host of the holiday extravaganza, which was anywhere from 10 days to 5 weeks at the Christmas season starting in 2011. I actually just talked to Dr. Goldhammer on the phone today. So he's my mentor and one of my best buds. So Gina has a fun question. If you live in an RV, do you not need weights to work out? So how do you guys, how big is the RV? Do you go outside to work out? Or?
So the RV is 32. That's a great question. And thank you for asking. The RV is 32 feet. And we try to get outside as much as possible to walk or run or whatever. But the best weight that you have, you're carrying around with you. It's your body weight. So any body weight exercises, and I have lots of videos. If you just go on YouTube and just put Mindy Milray, you're going to see a lot of my exercises. And the great thing about the gliding discs is they utilize your body weight by shifting your body weight, and you can get a better muscle activation just by shifting your body weight. So for example, not using any equipment at all, if you were in a plank position and all you did in that plank position was walk your feet back and forward and out and in, you would then change where your body position was, and that would utilize the core and the legs and your upper body as well.
Very cool. You guys have any pets in there?
We don't.
Just me.
Just although I have long hair, so Bruce is, you have so much hair.
We would actually I'd love to get a
Yeah, we
dog, but up until 1 month ago, our lifestyle just did not permit it. Maybe we'll get a dog today.
Yeah,
We're not going anywhere.
Because we were at a fitness conference or a wellness conference every single weekend. So we would tootle to one city and park the RV, and then or a training, and we were booked every single weekend until COVID-19.
But you should see our RV is it's quite a spectacle on the outside. It's all fruits and vegetables. It's all covered in fruits and vegetables.
That's very, very cool. How long did it take you to write the book, and what first gave you the idea? Because it's a great title. You came
Well, Bruce actually was writing a book, and I said, I can write a book. This is the RV.
You know what? Now that I see that picture, I heard of you before I heard of you. I remember seeing that picture, somebody telling me to interview you. But the problem is people say, I want you to interview somebody. And if you don't give me their email, it's not easy.
Yeah. So the question was, what was the question?
What made you decide to write a book? How long did it take you to do it?
Okay. So Bruce was writing a book about a year ago this time, and he's still writing his book. His book is almost out. But I said, I was contributing to his book, and I said, I'm going to write a book too, because I like to not one-up him, but sort of do the same thing he does. And at the same time, I mean, for years, I'm thinking, all of these doctors that told me that Bruce wouldn't have sexual function, they're not right. And we have to get our story out. So that's why it really compelled me to write the book, because we have so much more power over our health and wellness than we think we do. And lots of times a doctor tells us something and we think that's just the way it is, when in actuality, the things that we do and our choices make all the difference in the world. Yeah. So that's why it took me about a year to write the book.
Yeah, she started about 3 months after I started. She got her book done first, and then she goes, "It's going to be called The Plant-Powered Penis." And I go, "That's a bestseller."
She's like an overachiever. You're writing a book, I'm going to write a book. They asked if you could please show the bus again.
The bus again. Yeah, you got it.
But you have to talk to be on screen.
So if you go to onedaytowellness.org, you're actually going to see the RV as well in some of the pictures there. And if anybody contacts us, we always can contact you back and send you pics and all that kind of stuff. And we do. I am
And on the back of the card are our educational partners.
That's right. Yeah. So we are partnered with some wonderful organizations. Do you, Bruce's lifestyle? Oh, you know who's not on there is Plantrition Project. They're not on there, and then also
American College of Lifestyle Medicine.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
they're one of our education.
Wow, neat. Bernard wants to know if the book comes in paperback.
It does. So it's in both ebook and paperback. And as soon as I can, I'm going to put it on Audible as well.
Are you going to do the recording yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, that's really fun. I've done 2 books. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of fun. I think they want to hear your voice, especially when it is so very personal to you, because I have a personal perspective on the penis at the end of every chapter. And then I also have a tip about the personal perspective. And it's very important for me to tell that story, because some of the stories are very funny, and then some are very thoughtful and thought-provoking. And I want it to be my voice.
So you have a personal penis perspective. And what is your personal penis perspective?
Well, it depends on the chapter. So some chapters I talk about masturbation and my personal perspective on masturbation, or and then the tip about the tip. So like couples who this might be too much for your. I don't think it's too much for your.
And I'm gonna click the thing that says this is not for kids, so don't worry.
Okay, good. But couples that masturbate together, they actually have better relationships. So, and then I talk about my kids and getting their penises stuck in zippers, and it's not their fault because zippers were never meant to be next to penises. And so I have a lot of different fun anecdotes and things.
So let me ask your opinion on this, because you're right when you said penis and zipper in the same sentence. There's this, in general, when you see a man that has his fly unzipped, are you supposed to say something? Because I once ran into somebody who is actually a celebrity. I'm not going to say his name and embarrass him. And his fly was open. And I thought I should tell him, but I felt so embarrassed. So Bruce, as a man, do you want us to tell you when you're
Yes, I do. Immediately.
Okay.
It's just like kale in your teeth, or little something hanging here. Oh yeah.
I just felt like I would embarrass him, and I didn't. And I'm still thinking about it years later. And
Yeah, you just give him a nudge and go, hey, by the way, maybe not announce it.
Or would it be better though if, like, my husband was there? Would it have been better if it was coming from him, you think?
No, I think you're fine.
AJ,
Anybody's fine.
you're so funny. I would say something like, "Oh, I like the view down there."
Partly was because he was a celebrity, I think, and I got a little, starstruck, and it was like I didn't want the first thing to be, by the way, your fly.
Oh gosh. But isn't it funny? Because our world is the whole food plant-based world. Like the first time I met Dr. Greger or Dr. Bernard, now they're our buddies, but the first time it's like, it's something about that. And then you get to meet them and you get to be buddies with them, and they're just your buddies.
Yep.
So when you see someone with their zipper down, you just know that you will be their buddy at some point. So you should probably tell them now.
Okay. But like, don't shout it to the whole room.
Yeah.
I got it. So you've been plant-based 9 years, Bruce, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And Mindy, how long for you?
Well, same. Well, I was always the vegetarian that
She was the vegan that ate chicken.
Yeah, and fish. So I always said I don't eat red meat, but because back then it was like, well, I don't eat meat, but I eat chicken and fish. That's.
Yeah, because we all know that they're vegetables. Yeah.
We really dove in after reading the China study, and because I wanted to see if I didn't want to go on statins.
Right.
And I proved to myself once I looked at my blood work after 6 weeks, and I was a sloppy, I was just figuring it out.
Well, we were a sloppy vegan.
But still, I dropped my cholesterol by 100 points in 6 weeks. It just absolutely. I said, "This is it.
Yeah.
This is it."
But then we went to McDougall, and that's when we gave up oil. We went to the McDougall retreat for the 4 days or 3 days, and that's what. And the great news is that it's an evolution, and I'm sure you've experienced this too. That you start out eliminating and adding all these wonderful plant-based foods. And then you add more and you add more. So very recently, Bruce and I, because Bruce is working on his book, we learned about groats. And groats, if you look at like old-fashioned oats, they're very processed. And then you get steel-cut oats, they're a little less processed.
Thank you, because I'm always getting bashed for telling people not to eat rolled oats and fruits for breakfast. Oat groat.
Oh,
Groats, or
gross.
farro, or kamut, or buckwheat, or barley. I mean,
Whole grains
that's-
are a game
yeah.
changer.
And in my book, I talk a lot about groats and how to prepare groats well, and you can use them for all different kinds of dishes. And so groats is pretty much, don't you think that's the last? Oh no,
That's the base of our
let
diet.
me tell you something else. We're trying also to lower our fat intake. Have you ever tried making chestnut butter?
I haven't tried making, I've tried the chestnuts like they sell them at Costco sometimes, especially around the holiday season.
You can get them in bulk. I get them on Amazon Prime.
I have a nut butter addiction.
Yeah.
And I've always struggled with that. And so we want to go we want to try to keep our fat content under 15% of our diet. And it was hard for me to do because I would get going on that nut butter and I just couldn't stop on toast. So
you make nut butter out of this is brilliant. I never thought of that. You actually,
yeah, you got to try it, Chef AJ.
so
It's
good.
delicious. It's going from 75 to 80% fat, like in
For
a walnuts or an almond butter. 10% fat.
10%.
10%.
are you buying the on Amazon roasted or raw? How are you doing this?
We initially bought them at Costco, right?
Yeah. Do you want to see them?
Yeah, absolutely, because this could be a total game changer. Oh
Talking
my God.
about-
Because
Yeah.
I haven't eaten any overt fats in over 8 years. The thought of maybe having some like
It's for me, I had to have something to replace the nut butters because I pretty much eliminated, like you, most nuts and seeds from my diet. And
I've seen those.
There you
And so
go.
you just like puree it in your food processor?
So what I do is they say roasted, but I roast them again. Because if you're making nut butters, you have to roast it first. Then I put them in the food processor and with some water, and maybe if you want a sweetener, but I don't use that. And then you just, they're fantastic.
really,
Oh my gosh, 10%. We learned about this. We went to Portugal last year, and at every corner they had roasted chestnuts, and we would eat roasted chestnuts every day because it was so fantastic. And we kept thinking, oh my gosh, our fat content is probably so high. Then we looked it up and it was 10% fat. Yay!
God,
Yeah.
you're blowing my mind because
when we're
I mean,
done, make a batch. Go to Costco
Yeah.
and roast them again. You're gonna find out your nut butter's back.
Yeah, yeah.
MG, do you write about this in your book? Because this is like worth the price of the book alone, what you're teaching us right now.
So this chestnut butter, actually, I discovered right after my book was done. But I have so many tips about what different foods that you should use in substitution for others. And then also how to stay satiated. As you know, from like Dr. McDougall's book, The Starch Solution, it's all about satiety. And people will not succeed if they are not feeling full. So that's the kicker here, is you've got to feel satisfied from the food tasting good, but you also have to feel full. And that's what groats will do in the morning. If you eat groats, oh my gosh, you feel full until 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I can comment on it because we used to always just eat oatmeal in the morning.
Steel cut.
And if we ate breakfast at 7:30, I was hungry by 9:30.
Yeah.
I'll eat a bowl of kamut, farro, oat. I mean, there's so many different types. Teff. We had teff groats from Africa the other day with just a little bit of berries on there. It keeps you, and a little bit of soy milk. It keeps you full. It keeps me full until like 1 o'clock. It is again. It's incredible.
It's such a difference. People get so mad at me for telling them not to eat rolled oats, but as a former pastry chef, when I ran out of flour, I would cook with rolled oats, and it was just like using flour because they're so finely ground and processed. So Monica wants to know if you can show the chestnuts again, because you showed them.
I sure will. So I got a case of them on Amazon Prime, and I probably will open up 3 bags at a time, roast them in the oven at about 400 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I put them in my food processor, and that's it. And with a little bit of water.
That's amazing. So living in an RV, like what kind of equipment do you have? Do you have a stove? Do you have an Instant Pot? Do you have an air fryer?
Yes, please.
Yes. That's actually, Chef AJ, that is one of the main reasons we decided to move into an RV and stop living in airports, because it's, as you know, it is practically, especially if you're going oil free, you can't eat oil free if you travel nonstop and you live in airports and you can't do it. And if you are going to do it, you make so many enemies along the way, it's almost not worth it. So in the RV, we have made 3 trips across the country in the last 3 years. We love doing it, but we have a full kitchen.
Full kitchen.
And we cook we don't eat out. Every single meal we eat is prepared and cooked in our kitchen. Every time we go to eat out, we're disappointed.
Yeah. And date night is going to the grocery store.
And sometimes we'll just like, let's just go out. We'll go to Thai food and we'll tell them not to use oil. We'll go, yeah. And at the end of the meal, we're like, oh, it's so oily.
And once you give up oil, you can't go back. Everything just tastes terrible. So we have a so everything is smaller in the RV. So we have a microwave convection oven combination. We have a 3-burner stove. Uh-oh. You're going to show her?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Why not? What else are we doing here? Let me know if we're running out of time.
No, we're good. Could you mention what the brand name of the chestnuts are?
Chestnut's coming back.
Okay, hang on. So yeah, we're gonna give you a little. Oh, you have to show her our bedspread.
Are those Geffen? Those are Geffen.
Yes, Geffen.
Oh my God, it's a Jewish brand. They always have those at the Jewish store.
There
Absolutely.
you go. Well, there you go.
Yeah. They have them at the stores where people that keep kosher. Now, of course, I've seen them.
Okay, so you're in the kitchen now. So this is we just have like a regular crock pot. And actually, I've got a beautiful soup cooking in there right now. It's all just plants. Everything is plants. And then we've got, we love coffee. So there's my coffee maker. We love toast. I always make whole wheat toast. And so we have the toaster, there's the microwave, and then we just have a 3-burner stove as well. Huge refrigerator, huge. And then come into our bedroom. This is our bedspread. Can you see it?
That's beautiful.
Fruits and vegetable bedspread. And then this is a bedspread too, with like carrots and beets. So everything is fruits and vegetables.
Mindy, did you design everything?
Yeah, I did.
Wow, you really are creative.
Yeah. So, well, because we take the RV into, sometimes we're on the trade show floor at fitness conferences or wellness conferences, and we open everything up so people can come in, and we either have little meetings, or we just want people to see how we live, because we walk the walk, we talk the talk. You don't see us at the grocery store buying Coke and a bag of chips. I mean, we do what we say we do. I mean, like all of our pillows everything is themed. Every single thing is themed.
Well branded, like your background.
That's beautiful. You know, the fitness, I'm going to be interviewing on one of these daily lives very soon, Derek Treesize. And if you could do something with this fitness industry, all they do is push supplements and whey protein, and it's
terrible. Well, that's why we do what we do, because if you go into a health club, the first thing you're going to see are vats of whey protein powder, and you're going to see supplements. And we just want to spread the word. We are the only whole food plant-based
certification program in the fitness industry.
Yeah. So we certify people to lead this program, and we just want everybody to take our information and share it. So we after you take our certification, you can use all of our materials. You have all of our assets. It's not like, oh, you have to pay a certain fee a month or whatever. It really is. We are a nonprofit in every sense of the word.
Nice. How long does chestnut butter last? They're asking.
They really like this chestnut butter.
More than a week.
Oh yeah,
more than a week,
yeah.
probably a
Couple
month.
weeks.
I would say a month.
Yeah.
You keep it in the refrigerator once you make it?
Refrigerator. Yeah, we
Mhm.
made a big batch, so it's been in
Mhm.
there for over a week now.
And so that's how it started. I made my black bean brownies and it called for a quarter cup of nut butter. Well, I used the chestnut butter instead, and it's so oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
So, because they're asking, do you have any chestnut recipes? So you're basically saying use the chestnut butter as you would any other nut butter.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
as a replacement,
yes,
low fat,
so
10%.
my black bean brownies are 1 can of black beans, a quarter cup of the nut butter, a half a cup of raw cacao powder, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, and did I forget anything else? Oh, and then 2 tablespoons of flaxseed. 350 oven for 30 minutes.
That
That's
sounds
one of the
great.
recipes in my book.
Christy says she doesn't know what a groat is.
A groat. Can you bring a groat?
Sure, yeah. I'll get
Okay,
some groats.
so a groat is the intact grain of whatever you're talking about. So oat groats are the actual
Get one of that.
intact groat, and then it's cut once or twice to make steel cut, and then so it's processed a little bit. Then to make
What is that
that looks like oat. Yeah. So if you can see, that is an oat groat,
So for wheat, it's the whole wheat berry.
right?
And Chef AJ, as you may have heard Dr. Greger talk about, actually it's considered to be a negative calorie food, and because if you eat 100 calories of it, you're going to end up eliminating probably more than 10% of those
Yeah.
calories, because your body just doesn't digest all the because you're chewing up all the groats. Your body doesn't.
Where does he say this, on his website or in his book?
Does, yeah, both on his website, and
Does
I
he-
think it's in
How Not to
diet.
Yeah.
This is about oat groat, huh? Wow. I
Groat,
have to
groat
look.
specifically, I think I
Mhm.
can't remember his term, but I think he calls it a negative calorie food. It's like, you lose weight while eating it because you don't consume all the
Yeah,
calories.
and that's for the whole one, not for the rolled oat, not for the for the whole.
Absolutely.
Right.
And again, groats just defines that it's the whole intact grain. So it can be kamut, it can be farro, it can be wheat, it can be buckwheat, all the grains out there that have been sustaining humanity forever.
Mhm.
Just eat them whole the way we always have for the
Yeah,
last
and if you
1,000 or so
if you
years.
normally are eating, say, I always eat quinoa, right? Well, this is a great alternative.
To mix it up.
Yeah, to mix it up. It's not. I think quinoa is fantastic and amazing, and same thing with rice. However, these are really, they're just satiating because they're bigger
They're
grains.
more like rice. They're toothsome. They're just, it's such a better texture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like them because they're crunchy, and I love
Yeah.
crunch.
Yeah.
I grew up with fried food, so that's for me personally, and I'd love to talk to you about it more, is that finding the ability to create good crunchy food
Mhm.
oil-free has been my mission. And
Mhm.
I've come up with it, for example, tortilla chips, which all of us are addicted. When you sit down at the Mexican restaurant and they bring your plate and you're already full because you've eaten the whole bag of tortilla chips on the table, you've eaten mostly fat, processed fat. However, you can buy 100% stone ground corn tortillas, organic corn tortillas, put them in your toaster, out they come, crispy and delicious, no fat.
Can you show them? Can you get them? So
I
we
do that too. I make chips out of the
Yeah.
100%
Well,
ground.
we have on our website, we've got the Toaster Chronicles. You can get about 35 of our homemade recipes on our website completely for free. And the stone ground tortillas are it's called the Toaster Chronicles, what you can do with the toaster. And Bruce and I, we probably eat, I would say, at least 8 of these a day, at least. And here it is. And this we just got at Costco. That's the organic stone ground tortillas.
Very good. I do them in my air fryer and they take like 15 minutes and I do like 16 at a time. And
I
then
haven't
they-
tried that. That sounds really
Oh, that
good.
sounds really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a very nice comment if you're coming to Atlanta. Yeah, Monica says, I love the fruit pillows and bedspreads. This is an interesting couple, exclamation mark. Are they coming to Atlanta? I would love to meet them.
Oh, that's interesting.
We
So,
were.
okay. This might still happen. So there is a convention called the SCW Fitness Convention. It's in Atlanta, Georgia, every third weekend of July.
At the Hyatt in Buckhead.
Hyatt and Buckhead. So hopefully we'll be there. Maybe we won't, because we don't know. That's the unfortunate thing about COVID-19. Everybody is.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
So Donna Joy Layton said, please repeat the name of the book. And this is Mindy and Bruce Milray. And I just posted the link on Amazon to the book called The Plant Powered Penis. You have to talk for it to be seen.
Oh, okay. Yes. It's called The Plant Powered Penis. And that's the book. It's available, as AJ just said, on Amazon.com in both ebook and also in paperback.
Great. Gina says, how do we follow where they are so we can come see them?
Oh, I would love it if you would come see us, Gina. You can see our schedule. Well, our schedule is going to be updated probably next week. And it is on onedaytowellness.org, and that's all spelled out.
I'll just put it in the chat box right there. So let's see. We got more oat groat questions. Do you cook it like oatmeal?
So what you want to do is you want to soak it first overnight. And when you soak your grains overnight, talk about soaking.
Well, it begins to break down. The enzymatic process of the breakdown of the grain begins to happen. Not all of the grains need to be soaked, but you do a thorough rinse. With wheat berries, we do, and kamut, we soak it overnight. You just cook it for what? Just boil it for, it's so easy.
It is. And it's like, check it after 15 or 20 minutes.
Drain the water off and just.
And you might like it much more crunchy. And the cool thing about groats too is they don't get mushy. You can overcook it and it doesn't get mushy because you've got that intact grain still hanging out on the outside of the grain, and it stays intact.
Yeah, and I actually have a recipe on my YouTube page for an oat groat recipe. I'm shooting another one today, so please check out my page. And Kathy says, where do you find organic ones? I find them at Clark's Nutrition in bulk, but you can also get them on Amazon. Is that where you guys get your oat groats?
Correct. Yeah, I just bought 10 pounds of oat groats on Amazon. And kamut.
Well, we used to buy it at the bulk section of our favorite grocery store here in Santa Cruz, but
they don't
the bulk section has disappeared because of the
COVID.
contaminant.
I just cook mine in the pressure cooker and it takes 5 minutes.
Well, that's probably better.
Good.
Yeah, that's probably better. We don't have a pressure cooker.
We don't have a pressure cooker.
That's probably a good way to do it.
Oh, you're going to have to get a pressure cooker.
Well, I have to sell enough books.
Okay.
We live in an RV.
That's funny. Where can I get Elmhurst plant milk? I see it at every store. So that's one that's just usually nuts and water, they're asking. So they want to know if you make your own bread or what brand do you buy?
So I make my own bread, and very, very easy, just 4 cups of whole wheat flour, 2 cups of warm water, 1 packet of yeast. That's it.
And we'll give a shout out to our favorite bakery because it's in Santa Cruz. It's called the Companion Bake Shop. It's the only bakery that we're aware of that makes 100% whole grain buckwheat and rye flour breads without any added oils, just the basic ingredients. And it's fabulous. It's called Companion Bake Shop. It's in Santa Cruz. We have spent $200 having 100% whole grain rye bread shipped to us across the country from this this bakery in Santa Cruz, because AJ, it is so hard to find health promoting food as you travel. As soon as you leave,
you don't have to tell me. I've been saying this for years that I think of restaurants as a punishment, and finally I have another sane couple that's echoing what I've been saying. You cannot get a compliant healthy meal in a restaurant. I don't care what they say. I worked at one. There's residual oil on the cookware. They don't really care, and there's salt in everything. Nothing is made to order, and they're just it's like, are you fooling yourself or are you fueling yourself?
As Dr. Clapper says, if you want Chinese food, it's Chinese flavored salt, sugar, and fat. You want Thai food? It's Thai flavored salt, sugar, and fat. Oh, you want Italian?
But for our bread too, we have a bread mill in our RV. So we buy the wheat berries.
Yeah, we mill the wheat.
We're like little prairie people. We just, and then we have enough flour to make our whole wheat bread. And this is when we're on the road. When we're in when we're here hunkered down, then we go to Companion a lot. But I do make my bread. And when you think about those very minimal ingredients, it's very dense. It doesn't rise very much, so you're not going to see it as like, oh, it's a loaf of bread. It's much flatter, but the taste is amazing.
But you make the bread, you slice it, you toast it, you put the fresh chestnut butter on there with some fresh raspberries, organic raspberries. You mash them down there.
Fabulous.
There's nowhere that you just can't find any better food.
So good.
You know I'm buying chestnuts as soon as we get off.
I love it. I want to hear.
Like, hurry up! Come on, talk faster. I got to go order some chestnuts. I'm just kidding, of course. So Judy says Philadelphia is having its first plant-powered expo in October. Dr. Greger and Dr. Clapper are speaking. How do I get in touch with you to see if you might want to swing by? We would love it. So you're talking about that or me?
Yeah, we'd love to do it.
Yes. And Michael Greger is a great friend of ours. So we would love it if you would get in touch with us, and it would just reach out at info@onedaytowellness.org. And that email goes to both Bruce and I.
I went to college at University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, and there was nothing.
I have all my brothers and sisters, and not sisters, my brothers and my father, they all went to Penn State.
Nice.
Yeah.
So there's a question from Michelle. Can you soak the oat groats and put them in the food processor and not cook? You mean kind of like muesli? That sounds like they'd be kind of chewy.
Well, you know what? You probably could do that. So part of there's a guy named Dr. Gordon Sachs down at UCSD who's done a lot of research on nutrition and plant-based nutrition. And he's the one that turned me on to groats because of the research that he actually has done some randomized controlled clinical trials on implementing whole food plant-based nutrition to treat recurrent prostate cancer. Fascinating work. But he's the one that told me about it. And the way I was explaining it was there's an ancient grain soup called congee. Maybe you've heard of it. And congee is essentially it's rice, it's whole brown rice or just the whole kernel cooked to the point where it does get mushy. And this is something that's been eaten as a health, to treat disease and just to eat healthily for thousands of years.
Isn't it the Ayurvedic?
It might be Ayurvedic, or it might be considered macrobiotic in origin. I'm not really sure, but it's they've been around for quite some time.
So I would say try it.
Yeah, just give it a go.
I mean, I know it's trial and error, and if you fail, well, try something else.
Yep, absolutely. So there's a question from Gina. This may be TMI. With an RV, do they live in a park or own their property? I'm living vicariously.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Can I answer?
Yeah.
Living in an RV is spectacular.
We have so
I wish
fun.
we'd done it 20 years ago. But well, we have a home.
Well,
we have a home on the ocean in Santa Cruz. I mean, it's a beautiful place, but we've rented it out and haven't been there in 2 years. We don't miss it.
No.
We love the simplicity of life right now. We're parked at Mindy's brother's house in Santa Cruz in his side yard. The rent is very reasonable.
Yeah. and we're a nonprofit.
Yeah. So typically we're traveling nonstop,
Yeah.
but we just happen to be grounded right now. But we stay primarily at RV parks when we travel around the country. And if you can find a federal RV park, wherever the Army Corps of Engineers has built a dam, there is a spectacular RV park that probably costs $8 a night to stay in.
Right. And that's you can find those parks at recreation.gov. You also can download an app called the Park Advisor, and we've only stayed at, like, say, a Walmart parking lot a few times, but we normally stay at somewhere where we can hook up and get electricity.
Well, we do a lot of work at fitness clubs. So like we just pull up in front of a fitness club, plug in and stay there, and then we're there ready to go in the morning.
Yeah. And then we're also a billboard.
And we don't have to go to the airport, and we don't have to rent a car.
Because our RV is a billboard.
We don't have to fight with the rental car people. We don't have to fight with the airlines.
So what's funny is the back of our RV is the picture of the two of us, and up top it says "follow us." And every once in a while, we'll have somebody follow us really closely, and we'll like pull off to go get gas or something, and they'll pull up next to us and say, "Well, I'm following you. You told me to follow you."
Oh my God, that's hilarious. They're really taking you literally, huh?
It's so funny. But we really wanted to make the RV like a flower. So people would just come and gravitate to the RV. You know, when you are speaking about, when you're so passionate about how you eat and being a whole food plant-based eater, we just want to share this with everyone. But we don't want to push people away. And this is how we coach people in our 1 Day to Wellness program, is how really to get your message across without being overbearing or push people away. And what we found is that when people come and ask you, and like the RV is an invitation to come and ask us questions, not to push anything on anyone else, but really people will.
Yeah, we don't approach anybody, but when this RV pulls into an RV park, and by the way, RV parks in the United States are not a bastion of health promotion and eating. You get a lot of people that just shut their doors. But some people will come. Usually we get a lot of people that come over and they have questions about changing their diet because maybe they've been recently diagnosed with a chronic disease. That's our most common. People just say, "What are you doing?" And that's an invitation. So now we can provide them with some information, maybe from PCRM or the Food Revolution Network, or somebody just say, "Here, here's what we do. We're science-based, and if you have more questions, we're here for you." That's it.
Yeah. Diane says I love this couple. And Peggy says their RV is so much better than the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. So.
Although it gets noticed, and that's the thing. You want to be noticed, so that people.
Do you ever have like a cop or a policeman pull you over and then not give you a ticket because you had such a cool looking?
Well, I can tell you a couple of really funny stories. Number one is we were stuck in rush hour traffic in Houston, Texas, on the Sam Houston Freeway or whatever. It was rush hour. There are 100 cars behind us, and I pulled up to the toll booth, and I didn't read all the signs, and I realized, oh, my RV is not going to fit through this toll booth. And the toll taker just looked at me and said, "Did you read the sign?" Well, I've got 100 cars behind me at this point at rush hour. And I go, "Oh my gosh, we got it." And she said, "We're going to have to bring in the police and back everybody up so you can move out of the way." And Mindy goes, "No problem." I go, "Mindy, our picture in our website is on the back of the RV." We're going to have some really angry people. So 20 minutes later, the police came, moved 100 cars backwards so we could pull our RV out and go through the larger slot. And the other was that I want to tell a story about crossing from Canada back in the United States. Yeah. We're coming back from Canada, and I'm not even thinking. The border.
I'm not thinking either.
And I pull up to the border patrol, and he goes, "Do you have any fruits or vegetables on?"
Well, you got to realize there's fruits and vegetables all over, and he said no.
He looked at me weird. He goes, "I'm coming aboard."
And we had fruits and vegetables.
We had leftover stuff in the fridge.
We didn't remember.
Oh, he worked us out. We were there for an hour. They gave us they searched every cavity of RV and made us wait for an hour. It's crazy.
I think they took out a lemon. I think they said you can't take this lemon.
Yeah, they took a lemon.
I was just thinking, because you're obviously so creative and designing so many things with t-shirts. Are you going to have a t-shirt that goes with a book that says something like "I have a plant-powered penis"?
No. Here's the deal with our t-shirts. They just are a fruit or a vegetable. We didn't want any words. There are lots of t-shirt companies that have words, and that's totally fine. I wanted to be completely different. So when I launched into my fitness career, I've always done this. I've always looked at what was needed, not what I could also contribute to what was already out there. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to create programming that people had never done before. And I also design with what's in mind of, people have never seen this before. And so hopefully they'll like this new.
We get a lot of people say, "Well, what does it mean?"
Yeah. Well, it's
whatever you want.
Yeah.
Well, they're very, very very pretty. So there's a question on how to get notified when I go live. I'm going live every day. I wish I could give you guys an exact time. It's just that every speaker is a little bit different. But my understanding, when Gina writes this, is if you subscribe to me on YouTube and choose all with the bell and make sure that your phone allows for notifications, that's what you do. So you guys have been so much fun. It's amazing you don't like try to kill each other living in confinement for so long like that.
No, we're just friends. We're such good friends.
We're
And
fortunate. We have a very good relationship.
yeah. And we
Yeah,
have
no, you guys seem great. Well, I hope to meet you someday. Tomas says, this is one of my favorite interviews so far. Me too, because it's really fun when I get to meet people I've never met before and discover them just like you guys are discovering them. So one more time, I'll put the link to Amazon. So why not check out her book, maybe even get the book for somebody who has a penis or somebody that knows somebody that has a penis, which I think takes care of the whole population. And if you want to follow them and get some great recipes, you can go to onedaytowellness.org. And I look forward to interviewing Bruce in the near future when his book on prostate cancer comes out. So that'll probably be in another month. So you can get a second dose of this lovely couple. And thank you so much for writing a book. I wish you every success. I mean, just if bestsellers were based on titles, then we know this is going to be one.
Thank you very much. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having. And AJ, we just want to give you a special shout out because you don't know us, but we've known you for quite some time, and what you've done with your career is really spectacular. You're a motivation for us.
Yeah.
Along with other, you're a luminary now in the world of plant-based nutrition, and you are, and you need to be proud of that and continue the mission and know that you're doing something extra. I know you sometimes probably go, oh gosh, what am I doing? But man, you are making
every day. I'm like, what am I doing? But thank you.
You're doing the right thing. That's what you're doing. You're helping people.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, it was really I'm very happy when you reached out to me to endorse your book. And I said, I don't even have to read this just on the title. I'm putting my name on it. But I did read as much of it as I could since I don't have it in my hands. I'm one of these people that like to have it in my hands. Yeah. Emily says, I'm a little jealous of their lifestyle. Well, why not? Let's all get an RV. Let's just get a bunch of vegan RVs.
If I could just close, I'll close by saying this, sell everything you have and go buy an RV and just start cruising around. You won't be disappointed.
And less is more. less is more.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thanks so much. And thank you guys so much for watching. Come back tomorrow at 2 p.m. when I'll be interviewing Kaylin Harwell of Kaylin Harwell Skincare, who's going to show us how we can still be beautiful, even though we can't go to the store or buy anything or get our hair done. And that's that. So thanks again, Mindy and Bruce. And guys, hop on over to Amazon and check out the plant-powered penis.
Thanks, AJ.
Thanks, AJ.
Take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye.